I'm back! What up? Let's go! What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, depending what time zone you're in, it's Monday morning or Sunday night. And to my Monday morningers, you know this is not my favorite day of the week, but we are officially back, so that makes it a great Monday. All right, you guys, I have 3 lead stories for you. We're going to kick it off by talking about Barack Obama wanting boys to have gay role models. Jay-Z finally responds to his alleged son, and Shannon Sharpe settles his lawsuit with Jane Doe, and a few days later, she retires from OnlyFans. In quick news, we're going to talk about Coldplay Cam Challenge, Thee Stallion and her new man, Wendy Williams, Brittney Griner, DC Youngfly, Rick Ross, Claressa Shields, Laila Ali, and Nicki Minaj talks to the FBI and CIA. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day. I'm going to address and let you guys know where I was for the past 2 weeks. So don't skip. Just make sure you watch the whole episode. But we will talk about where I've been for the past 2.5 weeks. Comments of the day, social discussion of the day, question of the day, and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs and radio, your devices up. I'm back and about to start this show. Let's go. Our first lead story. Barack Obama says boys need queer role models while revealing gay college professor influenced him during his young adulthood. Michelle Obama agrees and suggests parents urge boys to seek interest other than sports. All right, y'all, we starting off hot. Hot button issue. Take a listen to the video and we'll talk about it on the other side. Take a look.
That's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy. Mm-hmm. One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. Mm-hmm. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group.
While explaining how his gay college professor influenced him during his young adulthood, former President Barack Obama pressed the importance of boys having diverse male role models. Be they straight, queer, rich, or less than, black or white, it doesn't matter. His wife, Michelle, agrees and suggested that parents urge boys to seek interests other than sports. Okay, they go on to just talk about that this is from a podcast from July 16th, Michelle Obama's podcast that she has with her brothers. And they just go on to explain that it's not necessarily about gay or straight, etc., whatever. It's just about boys having diversity. So a couple of things. I think boys and girls should have diversity, A. B, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about the actual message. Do boys need gay role models? I think the heart of the statement of boys and girls need diversity and you don't want to just come from one perspective, totally agree with that. You guys know I'm very diverse. I'm very, very open-minded. That's why I like traveling. That's why I like reading. That's why I try to always step outside the box. So I think that is important. I don't know necessarily if you require to have a gay or queer person as a role model. I don't believe that somebody can influence you to be gay or queer. So that's not what bothers me. I just not too sure how I feel about necessarily thinking that you need that in your Rolodex. My bigger issue with this is, why is Barack Obama and Michelle Obama talking about this right now? That's the problem. The problem for me is the timing of this. Now, for those of you who might be new to this channel, I am an independent. I am not Democrat and I'm not Republican. However, I'm independent. However, I do take an interest in both parties. I believe in the Constitution, and I definitely say when the Republicans do something good, and I say when the Democrats do something good. That's what this show is all about. Not just political, but just with anything. I'm fair. But I think this is a horrible message. This message is horrible timing because Donald Trump and the Republican Party and the MAGA movement just completely obliterated is that a word? Obliterated the Democratic Party, right? Swept swing states, the popular vote, etc. And he did that by honing in on like the core central values, right? And he also did that by reaching out to podcasters, to streamers, and they're cemented in their movement. Now, the Democratic Party is leaderless and they don't have a message. Now, yes, Biden was the last Democratic president to be president, but Barack Obama is pretty much, quote unquote, arguably the leader of the Democratic Party. And I'm not saying that him making this statement is saying that this is what the Democratic Party stands for, but in a time when the Democratic Party doesn't have a message or doesn't have a leader, saying something like this is indirectly kind of saying this is what the Democratic Party stands for. Now, I don't know if he thought about this when he was saying this, because at the end of the day, he's just on a podcast talking with his wife, but he has to know how powerful his voice is. And in a leaderless, messageless time for the Democratic Party, and with how popular Trump's message is, I just don't think that this is the time and the place to be talking about this message. And the fact that I'm not even too sure if that is something that needs to be put out there. You know what I'm saying? So look, I love Michelle and Barack, totally love them, big fans of them, but I just feel like this is horrible timing. The message is questionable. Who says that's the kind of leadership that young people need? We're not leadership, but role models. I just think that he should have left it as diverse and not hone in on something specific at a time like this. Y'all let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our second lead story, Jay-Z filed 2 40-page motions to dismiss on lack of jurisdiction, rules of law, etc. Also asked judge to take notice of 8 previous court rulings that did not result in Ramir getting a paternity test dating back to 2010. All right, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of update of what's going on. For those of you who don't know, Jay-Z's alleged son has been trying to get him to take a paternity test for years. You know, Jaguar Wright has been talking about this for years, but let's not even get into Jaguar. I think it was July 18th, they had a court hearing, and Jay-Z had to reply by July 18th, and this is what is going on, all right? Jay-Z told the judge that he only learned about Ramir's most recent lawsuit on June the 3rd and needs more time to put together an official response. Ramir filed the federal lawsuit against Jay-Z May the 6th. He claims that Jay-Z impregnated his mother in the 90s, and Ramir also says Jay's team committed fraud upon multiple courts, and exploited the legal system in multiple jurisdictions to suppress Ramir's paternity claims and prevent legal accountability. In his suit, he says that he's not seeking child support, but damages from Jay-Z from his alleged action, which is basically money. Whether it be child support or damages, he's seeking money, okay? Including the wrongful dismissal of his paternity suit, seeking child support and college funds. He also states he suffered psychological distress, public embarrassment, and stress-induced health and mental health compensation. Now, not taking that away from him or not, but all of those things is just another way of saying, I need more money because of what you have put me through. Ramir claims his car was, I can't say that on YouTube, but something happened to his car 6 times. And it's something that involved the GUN, which he took as a clear message of intent to try to silence him, okay? We have talked about this at length. I'm just bringing it up because the the court hearing was July the 18th. And we know that Jay-Z had to answer. That was what the court was all about. Like, you have to answer him. Now, I have done some research into this, and broad research. Now, in the entertainment industry, this sucks. It sucks. But a lot of male entertainers are asked by females to take paternity tests. We all know the reasons for it, but it is a thing. Normally, it's a request. If it's not answered, there's a legal request. You take the paternity test. It comes back negative. It goes away. Or it comes back positive, and then you got to deal with the fact that you have a son. We've talked about it with that basketball player that I was talking about. Sorry, I'm back after 2 weeks. Forgive me. Come on, not Carl Anthony Towns, and Edwards. Sorry, and also famously Drake. Right? Drake took, I think, 3 paternity tests before he was like, all right, fine, Adonis is my son. I say all of that to say there has to be something going on why Jay just won't take the paternity test. Like, if you know that he's not your son, why not just take the test? And like I said, I've done the due diligence, and I've told you guys this before. This is a normal thing in the entertainment industry. So if Jay-Z has nothing to hide, he should just take the paternity test, and he could not have to deal with any of these things. This is why people like Jaguar Wright and people like me and other YouTubers continue to talk about this story, because Jay is making things more difficult on himself. And of course, not to mention that Ramir looks exactly like Jay-Z, like identical nose, lips, teeth, everything. And I've even seen him in interviews, like even a little bit of his mannerisms. Now, that is not to say for sure it's his son, but if there has been a court case that's been going on, or multiple court cases that's been going on for 15 years, and your peers in the industry have repeatedly taken paternity tests, there's something up. There's something up. The second part to this that some of you might not know is that if it is true that Jay-Z is the father of Ramir, then that means that his mother, Ramir's mother, would have been under the age at the time that she had Ramir. That is another reason why people think that Jay is hiding from this. So we'll continue to follow up on this story. It looks like they have a good judge, and it looks like the judge is going to be pressing Jay. But we also know from Tony Busby, Jay does not play when it comes to court. He spends the money. He has the lawyers. We shall see. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our third lead story. A 20-year-old who accused Shannon Sharpe of SA and the R word announces her retirement from OnlyFans after reaching a settlement with Shannon Sharpe in a $50 million lawsuit. All right, I think this broke Friday, and as you know, that was our last day on hiatus, so I really wanted to come back, and I was like, yo, should I do a live on this? Because it was so huge, but I waited for today. All right, I'm going to take you through backwards the press release, and then I think it was maybe today, or I can't remember when it was, when she announced her retirement, okay? So for those of you who don't know, Tony Busby put this announcement out. On April 20th, 2025, the Busby law firm filed a complaint in Nevada, making several allegations against Shannon Sharpe on behalf of our client, who is Jane Doe. Both sides acknowledged a long-term, consensual, and tumultuous relationship. That is key. I would like to reiterate that and reread this part. Both sides acknowledge a long-term, consensual, and tumultuous relationship. After protracted and respectful negotiations, I'm pleased to announce that we have reached a mutual agreement upon resolution. All matters have now been addressed satisfactorily, and the matter is closed. The lawsuit will thus be dismissed with prejudice. Now, dismissed with prejudice means that it can never be brought back. It's over. It's done with. Now, when a civil suit is closed and settled like that, we do know that there is 99.9% of the time a financial settlement, and that's why it's going to be closed. Now, when this all started, Shannon Sharpe obviously thought that he could beat this. That's why it went public. There were talks for weeks and weeks and weeks. Shannon Sharpe was like, yo, I don't care what you guys are asking, put it to the public. He made a huge mistake. He lost a lot of sponsorships. His podcast or his YouTube show is definitely not the same. He had to step back from ESPN. They're saying that he's going to come back at the beginning of the NFL season, the preseason, which is going to be starting in a couple of weeks. That's probably why you're hearing this now. Huge mistake on Shannon Sharpe's side and his team's side. Now this settlement, I don't think it's a good look. I reread that line where they're agreeing that it was consensual. I think the damage is done. I don't think there's a way that Shannon Sharpe could come back from this. And I think it's important to note that I think in 2025, celebrities can come back from things. I specifically don't think Shannon Sharpe can come back from this. I'll tell you a little bit why, and this is no like disrespect to Shannon Sharpe at all, because y'all know I'm a big fan and I used to watch his show all the time, and I always support content creators, YouTubers. Shannon was popular. He had his show or whatever, but Shannon's podcast went super viral from Cat Williams, right? It had like 100 million views, and I feel like Shannon Sharpe's guest is what made Shannon Sharpe. Some podcasts, some shows are about the personality itself and then the guests. Sometimes it's really about the guest. I feel like Shannon Sharpe's shows were about his guest. And because of that, I don't know if he can attract back those guests after hearing this. I don't think people tune in for the personality of Shannon Sharpe. I think they turned in for the tea that his guests brought. We shall see. And again, no disrespect to Shannon. Everybody has their different ways. Look at Arlette with Pop the Balloon. Like, I know that's totally different, but you turn into Pop the Balloon, one of my favorite shows on YouTube. You tune in for Arlette. Although she doesn't talk much, but you tune in for Arlette and BM and the chemistry, and I think uniquely what she does, the way how she lets her guests talk and try to make a connection, but you know what she's feeling, and you tune in for her after show and etc. So much so that Netflix gave them a bag and they tried to bring Pop the Balloon to Netflix, and it was horrible. And the reason why it's horrible is because Arlette is not there. So that's an example of somebody tuning in for a show or versus somebody tuning in for a personality. I don't know if Shannon can come back from this. We shall see. But to get back to the main story, Jane Doe put this out. Like I said, I think it was today or yesterday. She said, "Today I have decided to retire from OnlyFans. Thank you for the incredible support you shown me over the past years. This community has given me a life I could have never imagined. I'll still be active on social media and have several new projects in the work that I can't wait to share. I'm truly excited for this next chapter. I love you all forever and ever." Now, this looks even worse to Shannon. When you have a payout in a civil suit, you're like, okay, let's say we were talking before a couple of mil. Okay, now it went public. Okay, you guys have the upper hand. Cool. I'm going to pay you 20 mil. Let's just say we don't know what the final number is. Okay, I'm going to pay you 20 mil. But in the 20 mil, I want Tony Busby to put out the statement. I want him to say that we had a mutual relationship. I want him to say this. I want to say that. If it was me, I would have said, yo, you cannot be on social media at all anymore. Like, here's the money. You got to go and like ride off into the sunset. The fact that she has come out 2 days later and is like, yo, I'm retiring. She's like 21. That just shows the bag that she got. Like, this just looks worse for Shannon. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to try to manipulate the situation after you pay and manipulate it to make it look like you totally won and she was wrong. Now, she had a lot of damning evidence against him, so maybe he couldn't come up with the amount of money that he wanted to make that. But again, Shannon's team did not do a great job with this, and I feel like even this now is just the last straw that broke the camel's back, and it's done. And I predict that Jane Doe retiring from OnlyFans and sees she's working on some other things. trust me, she's going to be a huge influence out here. And I'm not saying like Kim Kardashian level, but you're going to start seeing her at events. You're going to start seeing her out here. Mark my word. Trust me. There's a reason why she's leaving. And it was not just because the bag that Shannon gave her. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. Okay, I've been chatty today already. You can tell I really miss y'all, man. All right, I'm going to try to be quicker now. Quick news. Let's go. Families may be divided, but the world is united. All right, this is about the Coldplay cam that everybody is talking about, the CEO and his side chick that got caught on the cam. This happened, I think, last week, Wednesday. Of course, we were in hiatus. So, but you guys, I don't even have to go back. You guys know what's going on with that. What I wanted to show you is how viral this is now at every stadium. They're doing not a kiss cam, but a Coldplay cam. It's hilarious. Take a look. Astronomer CEO Andy and the company's chief people officer Kirsten were caught in an awkward moment when Kiss Cam landed on them at the Coldplay concert in Boston on Wednesday night, and now this has gone viral. They've actually since stepped down, basically, aka fired. We're going to bring this into social discussion because I'm going to read to you quickly the statement from Astronomer, and I want to have a discussion with you guys, and I want to know if you agree with the CEO having to step down and having to leave his position, the fact that he was doing something on a personal level. So sit tight. We're going to talk about this more in social discussion. Our second quick story. Megan Thee Stallion shows off her workout routine with Klay Thompson. Okay, I can't show you guys a lot of this. Actually, you know what? I don't even think we have a clip. Yeah, we don't have a clip because there's some audio in there that we can't use. But she is going viral. Again, something that I wanted to talk about that happened last week. Now, there's a lot of hate back and forth online with Megan Thee Stallion with the whole, Tory Lanez situation. There's people who are team. Did I say Tory Lanez? Did I say Tory? Yeah, Tory Lanez. Whatever. There's team Tory Lanez, and then there's team Megan Thee Stallion. Y'all know I love Megan. I love female hip hop. So I try not to take sides. I love the situation for her. Klay, I think, is the type of guy that Megan needs. I don't know if the relationship will last because we've seen from before Tory and after Tory the type of guy that Megan likes. And it looks now where she's like, all right, I've tried that type of guy, and now I'm going to try somebody who's a little bit more clean cut, a little bit more like a Russell Wilson type. We'll see. Regardless if it's going to work or not, I just like this for her because she seems so happy and she seems like at peace. And I just think that Megan has gone through so much. Again, whether you believe her or not, you think she's lying, this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Just as a person, I feel like she's been through a lot. Did she handle the situation with Tory properly? I don't know, but we can all agree that she has gone through a lot and she's happy. So that's what I'm happy for her about. Let me know what you think about Klay and Megan, and let me know if you think it's going to last. Oh no, when I see the video, it just doesn't look like it doesn't look like there's chemistry, but we shall see. Salute to Megan and Klay. Our third quick story. Wendy Williams was surrounded by friends and family for her 61st birthday. Sorry, we don't have a clip of this either because there was some music behind it, but I wanted to give you guys a quick update. I know a lot of our viewers are big Wendy Williams fans. You guys know I'm a huge Wendy Williams fan and supporter. Free Wendy. Now, Wendy hasn't been talked about too much in the media lately. I do know some things that's going on that I cannot talk about, but Wendy is out. She was doing well, so I want to share that with you guys. And stay tuned. shortly, I feel like we're going to be able to have some good news to talk to you about Wendy and her guardianship. Things are moving. It's not stalled, but it's moving slowly. We're working on it, all right? We'll let you guys know, but I want to say happy birthday to Wendy Williams. Our fourth quick story. Brittney Griner recalls experience with her cellmate in Russia. She was selling videos of her husband and together. So by the way, her cellmate was selling videos, not her. And I'm bleeping out what the video of her husband and the was, but you guys can figure it out. Here is a clip of the video, and I'll let you know why this is making headlines when it's not supposed to. Take a listen.
One time I was in this room with this one chick, and they don't separate people. There's no segregation. There's no like crimes,
Yeah. So you don't know if you in there with a murder.
Well, yeah, I did know. I had a cellmate in the very beginning. She was selling videos online of her husband and her child.
Brittney Griner shares a shocking story about how she had to share a cell with another inmate who displayed odd behavior. Her experience happened following her detainment in Russia in 2022. Okay, super disturbing story. Crazy that you're in jail for that Bob Marley, carrying out Bob Marley in your luggage, and you're in a jail with a cellmate that's doing crazy stuff. Okay, that's what she's talking about. Now, why we should be talking about this is why was she detained in the first place? I know people are going to say that she shouldn't have had that on her in a place in Russia because of their laws, etc. But anyways, let's not get into that. She's just talking about her experience and how horrible it was. But 80-90% of the people are talking about her voice. Like that's what all the comments are about. Now, yes, does she have a deep voice? 1,000%. But we all know why, So I just feel like people are missing the message of her, of what she went through, and the what she had to deal with being arrested over there, being in jail, and having to be brought back to the US, and just her experience. I just feel people are so cold to just be like, yo, I can't take her seriously. Why is her voice like that? Why is her voice so deep? She should be, like doing animation. Like I think people are cold, man. Like she has been through a lot, like up and down. Thankfully, she was able to come back home, get her career back, marry, doing everything like this. But I think people are missing the point of the story, and I just think it's crazy. Anyways, her voice is definitely deep. I'll give you that, but be a little bit more empathetic, people. All right? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our fifth quick story. DC Young Fly and Rick Ross exchanged words following DC's recent mention of him walking up and leaving in the middle of their interview on the 85 South Show. All right, this is like a legendary podcast story, and we're finally getting some more context about it. For those of you who don't know, Rick Ross was on the 85 South Show and just got up mid-interview and just walked out. There wasn't any beef, and we don't really know why he walked out. And Rick Ross was just like, yo, I just had to go and I had to do something. But we're like, why are you doing this in the interview? It's never been addressed if they had beef or whatever. And now I think DC and 85 South Show was on Rory on Mal's podcast, and they talked about it. So here is the videos explaining what's going on. I feel like they're trying to be cordial with each other, but y'all know Rick Ross. I feel like beef might start from this, but it's cordial so far. Take a look.
Have y'all had a chance to talk to Ross since he walked up on y'all?
We were just talking to Angie Martinez about that yesterday. We in Atlanta, so we run into him all the time. It ain't never been no hard feeling.
Yeah.
I don't want to say no hard feeling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say first of all, I don't give a
Yeah, I get it.
but I give a because
Bro, listen, man. I came to your podcast. I came for free, homie, no charge.
Ross, big homie. First of all, it love. Second of all, I got to call a spade when it's a spade. You say you did it for free. Everybody do it for free, Ross.
If you guys remember, Rick Ross says that he got up because he had to go to the bathroom. They waited for him, and then his manager came and was like, yo, Rick Ross went and caught a flight. So it's like, nobody still knows the exact reason why it happens, and they're still kind of like beating around the bush. Hopefully one day Rick Ross will sit down Maybe he has already and I just didn't hear about it, but I hear about everything. So let me know in the comment section if you heard, but we still want to know, why didn't you come back from the bathroom, Ross? Just why? Our sixth quick story. Claressa Shields secures a $15 million bag for a boxing match against Laila Ali. She said, let's make it happen. Okay, y'all know I'm a big Claressa Shields fan. Also Laila Ali too. Claressa Shields just put some serious pressure on Laila Ali days after the boxing legend said she wouldn't fight for less than $15 million. Shields says the money is secured. Laila, I'm here with my team. I got some great news for you. We got $15 million, the undefeated champ said in a video to TMZ Sports. Here is what Laila Ali, for those who don't know, Muhammad Ali's daughter, this is what she said in response to Claressa and her $15 million. Take a look.
Shields, there's rumors that you come back and fight her. What everybody's talking about it, or in the boxing circle.
The rumor that I heard was that I said, unless somebody had 15, 20 million, don't even call me about this. That's all.
Turkey has that. Turkey's gonna set this up. I know it.
Unless somebody calls me and says they have it, we're not even gonna have a conversation.
Sorry, okay, I think that video was before, and because of that video, now Claressa was like, yo, I have the money. This would be one of the biggest boxing matches ever of all times. Like, not just biggest female boxing match. Like, this would be Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Mayweather, Pac. This would be huge. I hope it happens. And more importantly, I think it would be amazing for female boxing. So I hope it happens. Our seventh quick story. Representative Anna Paulina Luna confirmed she spoke with Nicki Minaj following threatening comments made by TDE's Mac Wap during a live stream. Luna says she's taking these remarks seriously and cares about Nicki Minaj's safety. This is what she posted. I can confirm I spoke with Nicki Minaj directly and will be doing everything I can to ensure her safety. We take these kind of things very seriously. I'm deeply concerned that there has been unchecked corruption within certain aspects of the rap industry. Artists should be respected and not afraid of managers and labels. And this is Nicki Minaj's tweet. Rep Luna, this man just publicly threatened me. I have notified the FBI and CIA. I want this thug locked up, and I'm ready to talk about everything these people have done for me. All right, so this is coming on the heels of last week, Nicki Minaj like going crazy on Twitter, Instagram, and all social media platforms. I shouldn't say going crazy, but like, she was wilding. She was wilding out. She was talking about Jay-Z. She was talking about SZA. She was talking about TDE. She was talking about everybody. And predominantly Jay, by the way. And this is a result. She's like, look, I'm going to talk my talk. And if you guys want to come and say things to me or, you know, make me feel threatened in any way, I'm going to do 30s. And that's her right to do, right? Is she going to get backlash how Megan Thee Stallion got? I don't know. We shall see. But I just feel like, and I like Nicki. Y'all know Nicki to me is top 10, not just female, just top 10 period. But I just feel like Nicki picks and chooses when she wants to say things or do things. And I just feel like her now saying that she wants to go to the FBI and the CIA is like tad bit hypocritical. But that's all I'm saying. I'm just going to leave it at that. If y'all know Nicki's background, y'all know Nicki's background. But again, if you feel any way and if you feel like people are coming at you, that's technically what you should do. But I have seen Nicki talk about people. Anyways, let me just leave it at that. I don't want no barbs in my comment section. Yo, shout out to Nicki. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, finally, we've made it to my favorite segment, Comments of the Day. All right, finally, I can give you guys the tea on what's been going on. But before I do, y'all know, I have a very, very important question for you. Is your computer, laptop, or cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Well, let me answer that question for you. Yes, they are. If you're not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform, go to my sponsor below, aura.com/trend-out-loud to get a 14-day free trial to see if any of your data has been exposed. I haven't read this in a couple of weeks. This is fun. If you've ever wondered how scammers get your phone number or why your inbox is flooded with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers that sell your data, and they do it without your consent, making billions of dollars with marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. This is why I recommend today's sponsor, Aura, to my family, friends, and out louders. I miss yelling out louders. Aura takes care of the hard part for you, automatically removing your information off of sites and keeping it off. Aura is an all-in-one digital security platform. Now, y'all know I joke around when I talk about Aura, but that is the part that is really, really important. In this 14-day free trial, Aura can take all of your information. Well, first of all, they show you all your information that has been breached, and they can remove it off of these sites for free for you in the first 14 days. If you want to keep going with them, that's up to you guys after. But for free, they can find out if any of your information has been leaked online. And to date, I have not had one person click on this link below and come back and say, wow, none of my information was out there. In this day and age, in 2025, it's literally impossible for you to have your credit card in your phone, paying stuff on Amazon, buying things online, and for none of your information to have leaked out. This is what's amazing about Aura. This is why I love that they sponsor the comment section, because this is our way to give back to you guys. Make sure you click on the link below. It will walk you through the steps on how to sign up for free for 14 days, and Aura will be able to show you your information that has already leaked and help you take it offline, okay? If you have already had you may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking your front door, but keeping your back door open. With Aura, you get free alerts if any of your personal information is found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for your credit card or banking information. They also provide a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and they also have a US-based support system around the clock. It's the best customer service ever. And if something goes wrong, Aura also offers a $5 million identity theft insurance package. That is why they are the leader and the best. Try Aura now free for 14 days with my link below. Trust me, you will not regret it. All right, now let's get to the comments. Now, I literally just took a screenshot of the first comments, but there's been hundreds of comments from you guys. First one here, Taza says, where have you been? Are you okay? Haven't seen you since the last days of the Diddy trial. Crazy Gamer says, Trent, where you at? Hope all is well. DJ and Tasha out louders from Gastonia, North Carolina. Tasha and DJ, big supporters, always on my lives, always on watching every video. So shout out to Tasha and DJ. Please let us know you're okay soon. Tiffany said, yo, my fellow outlouders, get ready to ride at dawn. This isn't like Trent. And the last one here is from Lisa Laura said, Trent, I know you're okay because I refuse to believe otherwise. I've been an out louder for a while, but please throw a smoke signal, send a butterfly or a hootie hoo. I know I spelled that all jacked up, but you know what it is, praying for you. I thought that was hilarious because y'all know I'm dyslexic and the worst speller. So I read that and knew exactly what you meant. So shout out to the bad spellers out there. Anyways, let me tell y'all what happened, okay? First of all, as you can see, 10 fingers, 10 toes. I'm good. Everything is fine. So I think the Diddy trial ended on Wednesday, and I was like, all right, guys, I'm going to miss y'all. It was fun. Thank you so much for riding with me, all the new subscribers, everything, blah, blah, blah. I love doing lives. And we went out that night, had a super fun night. I only got back home at it's like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. Shout out to all the content content creators, Legacy Media, CNN, TMZ, everybody out there. Shout out to everybody. Great night. So without going into too much detail, I was like, yo, I think I'm just going to because normally I do a podcast every day, as you guys know, Monday to Friday. But seeing that I was doing so many lives and I wasn't sleeping like 2 or 3 hours, I stopped doing the actual podcast. And I was like, yo, should I just take a day on Thursday? And everybody's not used to the normal daily podcast because I'm doing 2 or 3 lives anyway, so I don't think they'll miss it. Okay, so I'm like, you could take a break, Trent. Take Thursday. Then I was traveling on Friday, and I was like, why would I go now and just start back on Friday, start back on the Monday? So that's how it became to 2 days. I'm really walking y'all through everything now. Then, great weekend. Then I had been planning a huge milestone birthday for my father that also dubbed as a family reunion that was happening the next Saturday. Okay. So I had a week. I've been preparing it throughout the Diddy trial, even before, whatever. And I was like, yo, this week is going to be crazy, crazy. Cousins flying in, aunts, uncles, like London, New York, LA, Washington, everywhere. People staying in my house, whatever. I'm like, yo, we already have a hiatus on the actual podcast. The Diddy trial is over. Yo, why don't I just take like a mental health week for me? Just wind down, chill, and just spend time with my family and organize this perfectly. I'm so happy the Diddy trial ended when it did, because having to organize that and be in New York would have been crazy work. Thank you, Lord. So I just wrote this down because I wanted just to make something. So it started out of taking a mental health break, taking time to just, get back to me. What you guys might not realize is daily, although I love doing this, it does still take a toll on you mentally, because I'm like always in my phone, always on social media, finding what the gossip is, calling people, trying to get the lowdown, trying to whatever. And sometimes the weekend isn't enough to unplug. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't do shows during the weekend. Even if something breaks, I try my best to hold it back, because I never want to make the same mistake that I did when I was building my stores. For those of you know, like my backstory, I used to have a national brand sneaker boutique, and I wrote books about it, how sneakers saved my life and how sneakers ruined my life. And part of the mistake I made once I had the success is not taking enough time for me. So when I started this podcast, or started this show, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I did say to myself, I want to do a show every day and I'm going to keep going and not take any breaks. But this was the first time that I was like, yo, just take some time for yourself. So that's a long-winded way. Again, just wanted to really explain to you guys. I just took some time for me. Now, the party happened. So that's a week and 2 days off. Now, the third thing why it went to 2 weeks was, that week felt nice, amazing. However, still a crazy week. Like I told you, I was picking up people from the airport. I had a bunch of people staying with me. The party was like just hundreds of people. And it was a lot, a lot to prepare for something like that, of that magnitude. So I was like, yeah, I should take another day or so. Fast forward to a couple of days. My birthday was a couple of days after the party. So I just decided to take 2 weeks too. So mental health, my birthday, and just unplugging all together took me to taking 2 weeks and 2 days off. Let's make sure I remembered every that. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. Yeah, so that was really about it. I didn't go on vacation. I wasn't anywhere. I took a hiatus, and I really, really, really want to thank everybody for all of their messages, all the DMs, the comments, and all the emails. It was super hard for me not to reply, but I know how I am. And if I would have replied to one person, I would reply to another person, and I would have got back. Now, I'm not going to lie and say I never opened Instagram, and I would start my day and I look for 2 minutes, but I'd be like, yo, Trent, get off, or Snap or TikTok or YouTube or whatever. I didn't watch any YouTube videos. I didn't get into anything. I just wanted to unplug from the entertainment industry. But like I said, I did see some comments or whatever and some pop-ups, and I'm like, I get into it. It's just going to keep going. So totally fine. Nothing other than me just taking some time for myself, getting some rest, although I didn't really get a lot of rest at all. I think I need a rest from my rest, but everything was amazing with me. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you so much for all the well wishes, the out louders. I love you guys, man. I literally, honestly, to be honest, if it wasn't for you guys and it wasn't for those messages, I probably would have taken another couple of weeks. Seriously, I was should maybe just take July. Because like I said, it was just my birthday. And I was like, maybe now I should take a week now after all the hoopla. And it was also my nephew's birthday too. So I'm like, oh, now that all the hoopla, well, maybe I should take a week to chill. But I could not leave you guys stranded. I know how much you guys depend on the show. I see it in the comments. Yo, I wake up and get ready to you, or I drive to work, or this is my, the show that I listen to at the gym or at work or whatever. And I never want to not be there for you guys because you guys are always there for me. So y'all know I could talk about this forever, but thank you once again. Really good. But we're back. We are back Monday through Friday. Shows. We're going to also do some lives here and there. I have some things cooking up for you guys. So, of course, not 3 lives a day, but I have some different things cooking up. Already made some little changes. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if you know, you know. But new things on the horizon. New Instagram page, the Trent Out Loud Show, if y'all want to follow that. Still have the normal Instagram page, Trent Out Loud, but there's a new page, the Trent Out Loud Show. Check that out. Working on some new things. And more importantly, we are back for y'all. All right, Monday through Friday. It's still the summertime. I don't know. I might take a little Friday or a Monday off. I might want to go on vacation somewhere, actually leave and not have a staycation. We'll see, but I'll let you guys know. And I will definitely let you guys know this time and not leave you worried. All right. Thank you very, very much. And shout out to Aura for sponsoring and holding down the comment section when I wasn't here. Love y'all. All right, this brings us to social discussion of the day. I actually had another social discussion. It was really good, but I'm going to save it for tomorrow's episode. A friend of mine sent this to me. It's like, yo, you should talk about this in social discussion. Married Astronomer CEO resigns after viral Coldplay kiss cam incident. So we talked about this quickly in quick stories. I'll read you quickly the statement that Astronomer put out. As stated previously, Astronomer is committed to the values and culture that have guided us since our founding. Our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability, and recently that standard was not met. Andy has tendered his resignation and the board of directors has accepted. The board will begin a search for our next chief executive. As co-founder and chief product officer, Pete continues to serve as interim CEO. Before this week, we were known as a pioneer in the data ops space, helping data teams power everything from modern analytics to product AI. While awareness for our company may have changed overnight, our product and our work for our customers have not. We're continuing to do what we do best, helping our customers with their toughest data and AI problems. Okay, so basically he was fired. So let's not talk about this resignation stuff, okay? He was fired. Now, and I think the girl too, chief people officer. Now, this begs the question. Andy was doing something on his personal time. This wasn't at a work retreat. This wasn't at work. This wasn't at any of the public ground, their company grounds, nothing. Man was at a Coldplay concert with his girlfriend, although he was married and she was married too. The fact of him having to step down, resign, or get fired has people talking. Is it fair for him to have to lose his job? And is it fair for her to have to lose her job? The fact that they were doing something private, personal, has nothing to do with the company. Now, while I agree that people should have their own time, when you are a CEO, and specifically a CEO, you don't have personal time. That's why you have the ownership that you have, or the stock options that you have, or the stake in the company that you have, and or if not all of that, that's why you get paid millions of dollars. The CEO, 99.9% of the time, is the most paid person there. And if not weekly, then, like I said, stock options or ownership or something. And that comes with it. That's in your contract. Now, if you just work there, sure, you can have a million side chicks. The whole point of a CEO is you are the face of this brand. And cheating on your wife is not an acceptable it's not an acceptable message to put out to clients. It shows that you're not an honest person. It shows that you're secretive. It shows that, I mean, look at his face on the camera. Like, it shows the type of man he is. Unfortunately, it is what it is. And like, fortunately for his wife, unfortunately for him. And I know he was on his personal time, and I know he can do whatever he wants, but I bring this back to Steve Jobs. Totally different scenario, but Steve Jobs was affecting the stock prices as he was in and out of the hospital when he was sick, when he had cancer. Nobody thought that Apple would be able to be Apple without Steve Jobs. And not every company revolves around their CEO. I talk about this in my book. When I had Exclusivity, I didn't even let people know I was the CEO or owner of it for the first 10 years, building a company from the ground up. I didn't want to be the face. I wanted the brand and the logo to be the face. For example, Donald Trump is the face of his brand. Trump Towers, Trump this or Trump that. Or Richard Branson, who's one of my favorite CEOs, Virgin, you don't necessarily think about Richard. I say all of that to say, at the end of the day, the CEO is the face of the brand. And when you're doing shady stuff on the weekend, it reflects on the quote unquote stock price. Now, a friend of mine and I did our research, and we found out they don't have a stock price, but it's a privately owned company. But there's pre-stock evaluations because they're thinking about going public. Then they've already raised, I think it was 100 million. So there's outside money involved. There's a board of directors, and this reflects on your character. This is who you are, and who you are reflects on the company. It's really just that simple. So I leave it to you guys. Take what I said into consideration, but let me know now what you think. If you think that he should have stepped down or resigned, or do you still feel like, I don't care how much you pay me, I don't care what, blah, blah, blah. I should be able to have my own private life, my own time. And when I clock out, I should be able to do me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to question of the day. If social media went away tomorrow, what's one thing you think people would struggle with the most? All right, you guys know how I feel about this. I feel like most people give social media such a bad rap, and it's really not that bad. Anyways, let's go to the comments. Somebody said, sorry, let me just read this again. What's the one thing you think people would struggle with the most? Okay, getting attention. Another person said connecting with people in real life, remembering people's birthday. I think that's a very good point. I just don't. Anyways, let me just keep reading. Another person said, I think people would struggle with communication, reality, being themselves, identity crisis, or originality. Wondering who to tell it's their birthday. I agree with the birthday thing. Birthdays were totally different before social media. Another person said validation from strangers. Another person said finding a restaurant. I agree with that. Social media has definitely helped. Finding good restaurants. Making money. I agree with that. Minding their business. Social skills. Spying on their exes from fake pages. 1000% totally agree with that. But then again, people know that people are looking, so they're not really posting the real things. They're only posting things that they want you to see. That's why I don't watch stories, for me personally, because I don't want to watch what you want to show me. If I want to know something about you, like, I want you to send me something or tell me something. Like, I just, you know what? Anyways, let's not even get into that. But reality and their identity, looking in the mirror, attention and validation, being themselves, lack of attention, validation. So while I agree, if social media was gone, it would definitely be a different world. Like I said, birthdays, restaurants, activities. For me, I think my favorite thing about social media is the instant information. Like, I love that. You don't have to wait for, a show or a print or, magazines back in the day. Like, you could just, boom, right away. Nicki Minaj wants to say something. She goes on live and she tells us right away. I don't know. Maybe I just not around those people, but I don't feel like social media has like changed our world where people are, don't talk to each other, or they don't know how to interact with each other. I don't know. I just feel like the people who I interact with, whether it be my nephews or my niece or young people or 20-year-old, whatever age, I feel like I can only talk from my experience. I feel social media brings people together more because you're able to see what each other does and their likes without having to ask. And then you identify, and then the algorithm feeds the attention together, and we could talk about things and we could DM stuff. I don't know. For me, I think it encourages the communication. Yes, I know there's some people that maybe sit at home and don't go outside, but that was happening too before social media. I just think social media has a bad rap. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you think? I don't even remember the question. What's the question? What if social media went away tomorrow? What's one thing you think people would struggle with the most? I think birthdays, restaurants, and the instant gratification. But I think as a society, I think it would be totally fine. I know y'all are going to disagree with me, but comment below. All right, this brings us to sports news. WNBA players send message with "Pay us what you owe us" shirts during the All-Star Game warm-up. Y'all know I'm always riding for female sports, basketball, rap, everything. Yo, I got y'all, man. Running with them coins, the WNBA players are trending as they hit the court in shirts that read "Pay us what you owe us" during the All-Star warm-up Saturday night. This message comes as the women's call out stalled contracts talks within the league. Here's a picture of the shirt. Love this. Now, I like that Caitlin Clark is wearing this. I like that the other WNBA players are wearing these shirts because Angel Reese talks about this, and I feel like she gets such a bad rap. Now, two sides to this, as you guys know. The WNBA has never been profitable in their 25 or 26 years. They are owned by the NBA, so they're subsidized by the NBA. Ticket sales are, of course, and network is not what the NBA is. So this is why their pay isn't as much. However, the contract that they're negotiating now is for the future. So we do know that the WNBA is not what it was even 2 years ago. And with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and a bunch of other female basketball players that are really taking the reins and bringing the WNBA to another level, we're talking about now and the future. So, okay, you weren't profitable before, NBA. No problem. Pay us now because we're about to do what we're going to do, So, again, I see both sides. I definitely see from a business perspective, but what I feel like the future is going to be, think about it. Before Serena and Venus, female tennis wasn't what it was and what it is now. Arguably, probably even more popular than men's tennis. Could we one day see the WNBA bigger than the NBA? I think it's possible. Some of you might not think that now, but if I told you 20 years ago that female tennis would be bigger than male tennis, you wouldn't believe me either. And you know that the NBA is slacking right now. Their viewership is down. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but pay the girls what they deserve. I stand with y'all. All right, y'all, that is a wrap on today's episode. Yeah, what up? Oh, it's nice to be back in my studio, to be back in my chair. Like, whoo! Oh, feels good to be back. However, so much fun doing lives, being in New York. Like, that was amazing. I will never take away that experience. And like I alluded to a little bit earlier, we will be doing a little bit more lives. Things are in the work, but yeah, Nice to be sitting back here recording a show and giving you guys the show that started it all right? The Trent Out Loud show. All right, that is it for me. Shout out to everybody for tuning in. Shout out to everybody again for all the warm messages, the concerns, all that stuff. Thank you very much for that. Thank you to Aura once again for sponsoring the comment section. I'll put up the QR code one last time. And before I go, just want to remind you guys of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud show. For those of you who are used to watching the show on YouTube, if you're ever going on a flight or ever going in a car, have no fear. Sorry, if you're ever going on a flight in a car and you don't have access to the internet or the YouTube app, have no fear because the Trent Out Loud show is available on all podcast platforms. Just go to any podcast site, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And just like YouTube, we upload daily. All right, you can download the show, put us right in your pocket, and take us with you. Now, vice versa. Sorry, I haven't done this in a long time. Vice versa, my podcast listeners, thank you so much for all the downloads. Thank you for listening and watching the show on podcast platforms. We love y'all. However, we really want y'all to come over to YouTube. It's a vibe over here. The comment section is lit, and this is where most of the Out Louders have their discussions. All right, so come on over to YouTube and hang out with us. Head over to the YouTube app or page. Just type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. Couple of housekeeping rules. First of all, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Second of all, please hit that like button because we got to get the algorithming. Most importantly, third, please try to comment below. I do the show by myself, and if you guys are not answering my questions or joining in on the conversation, it's just not cool, all right? I can't just be here talking to myself. I need y'all, okay? I do this by myself, but it is our show. So please try to comment. For those of you who don't necessarily want to join in on the conversation, I totally get that too. But just leave a comment. Hey, Trent, listening from wherever you're listening from. This is a global podcast, and I'd love to see where you guys are watching from. Lastly, if you're really enjoying the show, please try to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones because that definitely helps in growing the channel. I appreciate y'all. Lastly, for those who want to follow me outside of the show, I'm available on all podcasts. I'm available on all social media platforms. It's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. And like I said a little bit earlier, we changed one of our Instagram pages that used to be so many names, Out Loud Daily, and then it was something else. I can't remember. We finally settled on a name. It is now called The Trent Out Loud Show. If you were following Out Loud Daily, you don't have to do anything, or anybody who's new to the channel, make sure you follow the Trent Out Loud Show. I'll be going, I won't be going live, but I'll be doing more things on that Instagram platform, right? Like doing little reels, jumping in throughout the day, telling you things that I'll talk about on the show. So I'm going to be a little bit more active on TikTok and on that platform, the Trent Out Loud Show. So make sure you follow the Trent Out Loud Show on Instagram. All right, guys, that is it. I've done it. So happy to be back. I just want to keep on talking because I really just miss talking to y'all. Anyways, I'll see y'all tomorrow for Tuesday. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. Yeah, that's it. I think I said everything. I don't know. I haven't done this editing in a while. Let me know if I forgot anything. All right, I'm out, y'all. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace. For more content, you could subscribe, download, or listen to the Trent Out Loud podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts, or you could watch us on YouTube. Just search Trent Out Loud. For showtimes and updates, you could follow us on all social platforms at Trent Out Loud.